do not be fooled by size. Size does not necessarily equal strength at all, okay? The strongest, baddest are lean and have been lean for many years and can unload some power on you. The biggest, baddest looking dudes with the big Frankenstein looking muscles usually are like move around like stone golems. They don't have the mobility, they don't have the athleticism to really unleash. It becomes counterproductive after a while. So my personal philosophy is to stay as lean as possible and get as strong as possible to max out your genetic potential. Any can get strong by getting fat and eating a ton of garbage and eating a ton of food and bulking up. That's easy. Bulking up is fine, but just understand that once you get to a certain threshold, you want to be able to stay there and continue to increase your strength, make gains, and make progress. The mentality of going into the gym has to be one of unabashed warfare. I love going to the gym and I love training for maximum possible strength. Strength is all I care about. If I look good as a byproduct, so be it, but I don't give how I look. I want power, I want function, and I want to be able to destroy things if I have to. That includes people. So here's what I want to tell you. The beauty of having incredible strength goals and setting high targets, in my case, Olympic lifting. I wanted to develop and attain a 300-pound snatch, which is basically taking a barbell, ripping it off the floor in one uninterrupted motion, bring it over your head and stand up with it. In order to get there, I had to set my sights very high. I had to set a goal that was bigger than what I thought was possible. So that if I never reached that 300-pound snatch, maybe I only fell at 275, which is still phenomenal. Going into the gym and building up to a maximum set every day. I build up to a max possible lift, whatever I'm capable of on that day. It creates a very powerful, dramatic sequence where you have to take big leaps. So you start small and you build up, and as you build, the drama builds. You build up to a crescendo because you know you need to hit that target for the day. And when I say max lift, I'm talking about putting so much weight on the bar relative to what I'm capable of that if a fly landed on the bar, I would miss the lift. That's how close to red line, to the brink that I am. And that's been my training protocol for about 10 years. Because common sense always told me more work equals more results. So if I want to get stronger, max out every day. So that's what I did. And I hit that 300-pound snatch in a very short period of time from what the experts would tell you that it should have taken me. And in the gym that I was in, every other that I lifted with was on a completely different program of rest protocols. They were working off of percentages. They had these really scientific programs they were following. I am not rigid enough to follow a program. You know, it's like, if you want to get strong, you pick up heavy things and you put them over your head all the time. All the time. I'm constantly picking up heavy shit and moving it as fast as I possibly can. And that's it. It's not sexy. It's not sexy. But it works and it gives you all the results that you need. So when I'm in the gym and I know I got to hit that target for the day, I'm in a completely different mode from everybody else because I'm going to max. I'm about to put my body under sustained pressure and force it to grow. And I'm going to come out of that gym a different person that day because it doesn't matter how up I feel, how trash I feel, I'm going to drag myself into the gym. And even if it's a day where I think my max could be low that day, okay, Maybe I'm 50 pounds off because I'm exhausted and I got 3 hours sleep. That's fine. That was my daily max for that particular day. Doesn't mean I have to hit the same number every day. It just means the maximum amount of work I was capable of for that 24-hour period. And then tomorrow I'll come back and I'll get revenge if I'm 50 pounds off. But I'm cooking and I'm on the hunt and I've got that goal in my head, that number. That 300 pounds is gonna happen. Having those big goals and having those numbers ahead of you makes it very easy to make progress. Because when you're in the gym and you're taking those jumps and you're getting closer to your goal and you're seeing the results, it's very self-reinforcing. Being strong never gets old. People always ask, doesn't it get tiring going to the gym all the time? No. Does being strong ever look like it's going out of style? Of course not. I love being strong. And so these are fundamental core elements that I want to put into your mind. If you were locked in a cell and your family was locked in a cell next door, and you could only leave the cell to train and lift weights, and your family would not be released until you could squat a certain number, how many times a day do you think you train? You think you train 3 times a week? You think you train once every other day? Of course not. You'd be walking in and out of your cell all day taking big attempts to hit that number so you could release your family. Why? Because you have to. Exactly. Because you have to. So you can take that same mindset into the gym to get strong now. You don't actually need to be there. It's the same mentality. I've always asked myself, if I was trapped on an island, like what would the perfect conditions be for me to get extremely strong in the gym? Let's say I was on an island. Let's say I had food catered and delivered to me. How fast could my progress be? But the reality is, I have it better than that. I have access to high quality nutrition I can put in my fridge. I have my kettlebells. I got the gym down the street. The conditions don't have to be perfect for you to get your ass in there and train. And when it comes to recovery, understand that injuries occur when you take time off. When you train to max every single day and you push to the limit on a daily basis, everything is fatigued in equilibrium. Your joints, your tendons, your muscles are equally fatigued. But when you take a day off, your muscles repair faster than your joints and your tendons. So then when you go back in the gym and you take a big attempt, your muscles contract really hard against your joints and tendons, and that's how injury is created. So I'm constantly in a fatigue state. Always. I'm always run down. I'm always somewhat depleted. I'm never at 100%. But I'm extraordinarily powerful because your body is an organism. Your body adapts to the stress. So my body is accustomed to going under these heavy loads to the point where squatting heavy weight, throwing heavy weight over my head is as easy as walking to my car. It's automatic. I've been doing it for so long every day. I don't miss a day. Adaptation, baby. That's the name of the game. And it's this wellspring of health that you develop that all other things are possible. Strength is everything. It's how I know I don't have cancer. It's how I know I'm not sick. It's how I know I don't have a terminal illness. I don't need to see a doctor. I'm still strong as f***. If my strength started deteriorating rapidly, I would know there's a problem. So it's your best metric for how healthy you are. And it's inexcusable to not be as strong as you're humanly capable of. Why would you leave that much free health on the table? It's a waste. And I'll tell you one other thing. When it comes to lifting heavy weights, once you break past your barriers, once you break past your fears, and you're able to see, I'm actually getting a lot stronger than I thought I was capable of, which happens to every person, by the way. Every single one of you watching this you're far more capable of developing strength than what you think you are. You get to a point where you realize that fighting with heavy weight, is a skill completely in its own right. You get to these numbers and you start to break these barriers and find these breakthroughs and make all this progress. And then you really have to take the mindset of a champion into the gym. Because fighting with these heavy loads is a skill. A lot of times you're missing and you're missing and you're missing and you're taking these big attempts. It's happened to me. And I can tell I have the power to do it. I can tell I have the athleticism to put the weight up, but the mental component's a little bit off. So I'll take 20 attempts in one day, and on the 19th time, I get close, and then the 20th time I hit it. Because learning how to fight with those heavy loads is a practice, it's an art. And then once you learn how to fight with heavy weight, then it takes some skill and some training and some wherewithal to hold yourself back. Because then it gets to a point where you're just gonna get hurt because you're pushing too hard. Yo, on the topic of supplements and performance enhancing drugs, my personal philosophy is absolutely not to all of it. I've never taken supplements, I never will. And I've certainly never taken performance enhancing drugs, and I can almost guarantee I never will. For a few simple reasons. I do not want to be dependent on a pill or a liquid capsule in order to perform at my best. It's that simple. It's the same mentality that I don't need music, I don't need headphones to lift. I want to strip myself down to the bare minimum, and I want to reach the fruition of my genetic potential so I can actually understand who I am. I want to push to the outer limits of what I'm genetically capable of without the aid or help of any garbage. Just me and a plate of meat so that I can actually know who I am and stay true to my core and be true to myself. Because I know my personality. If I was the type to jump on roids and got that superhuman firepower, I would not be able to handle it coming down from it. I would always want that again. So I don't even want to go there. I don't even want to play that game. The other thing too is, and I am not judgmental about anybody who uses PEDs. All my friends do it. I understand the theories. I am very well educated about how it all works, what the protocols are. I just choose not to do it for a couple reasons. Empirically, what I've seen is that I've never seen someone come off roids and be normal. I've always seen them be up. Number two, I've noticed that it rapidly ages the face. Ubiquitously. Across the board, every guy I see that's been on long-term steroids, even TRT, what I have noticed is that they have a very youthful looking body, but their face looks 10 or 15 years behind. There's some destruction, some deterioration there that is unexplainable, but that's what I've noticed. And again, I do not want to be dependent on foreign substances and foreign liquids in order to perform at my best. I want to be able to pick myself up from feeling crappy and not feel like I need to take some Ginkgo biloba to get a good workout in. That's just not my style. I've been lifting competitively and heavy for 16 years now. I don't see any leaks, I don't see any gaps, I don't see any performance issues. I sleep fine. People come to me and say, Brute, what's the best sleep stack? I seem to do just fine with a pillow and a blanket. Dead set on taking supplements. Talk to me, we can have a conversation about it. I know about them all. I'm extraordinarily well researched at the cutting edge of what they all do, what the functions are. I think 99.9% of them are bullshit. It just turns into expensive piss that you're gonna piss out. And again, there's no point. I already spend money on my nutrition anyway, thousands of dollars a month for the highest quality nutrition. So why am I gonna spend all that time gathering the best animal products on the planet if at the end I still feel like I'm empty? I need something else. That. Run and gun in the sun. It's a concept I developed living at maximum. I discovered that time is used 25 times more efficiently when you combine everything into a seamless event. So I would go to the park, or I'd go to the mountaintop, or even the base of the mountain, and I would bring my kettlebells, and I would get my lifting in, and I would get sun. I would be drenched in sun, which is a critical component of your health. I get 6 hours of sun daily, no sunscreen. You have to understand that all of the calls, all of the administrative shit that you do, including sales, any important things that need to get done on a telephone, can all be best used if it's combined with your session out in the sun, with your weight training, with your sales calls. You combine them all in a unit. And when you combine them all in a unit, you're creating a force multiplier. No longer do you have to stress about, I gotta get to the gym for an hour, I gotta block out time for the sun, I gotta block out time for my calls. You just combine it all in one event, and you realize when you're done and you're super hyped up and motivated, because here's the deal. Sitting down while you make a phone call in an office is an obsolete protocol. It's hilarious. It's a joke that people still do it. Because when you're sitting down, your motor is switched off and you're in a very defensive position. So if somebody's coming at you hard with energy on the phone, your will is being bent. And it's a huge drain on energy resisting any confrontational phone call that you're taking, especially if it's sales and you're trying to convince someone to buy something. So when you're moving and you just did 5 sets of kettlebell snatches and you're pacing back and forth and you're in a stalking formation, charging hard, you're like a bull. When you jump on that phone call, your energy is felt on the other side of the phone. You have a massive offensive advantage because the person on the other end is usually going to be sitting, and even if they're not moving at the frenetic pace that you're moving at. So you're in this very dominant posture and you're in a very dominant position. I always take the most difficult calls. I spring up from wherever I am and I just start moving. I start booking it. And then I'm able to untap and unleash a lot more power, and my creative juices start flowing too. I can handle anything. You can give me the worst news in the world and I will have a perfect rebuttal. So just understand that the lifestyle that you want to encapsulate, the perfect lifestyle, is the one that's on the move. Get in your car, charge up your phone in your car, charge your laptop in your car, go to a beautiful park, sit outside, bring your weights out, type up, do what you got to do, sprint it out, and then rest. Treat your work like your training protocol. Sprint, rest, sprint, rest. During your rest sets, pick up the phone and make all the difficult calls. Schedule that date with the woman. Sell your product. You're already huffing, you're already puffing, you're already charged up from the training. So you have a bombardment of energy. You're an atomic bomb. Use it applicably. Make something with it. Don't waste all that energy. Don't let yourself come down from the workout. You're building that bonfire. This has been extremely effective for me. In between my sets, I go and I pick up the phone and I'm banging. I'm making money while I'm training. It's a perfect scenario. Everything coalesces into a strong unit. It's part of the routine. Combine it.